Hutter is sent by his master to finalize a deal with Count Orlok. However, he soon learns that Orlok is a vampire who has his sights set on his wife Fallon. Hello everyone, Luke Ripa here and welcome back to Weekos and welcome to my review of Nosferatu, Robert Eggers' remake of the 1922 German expressionist masterpiece, this time starring Lily Rose Depp, Nicholas Hoult, Bill Skarsgård, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Emma Corrin, Ralph Ineson, and William Dafoe. Before I venture into mid-1800s Germany, be sure to subscribe and follow Weekos on all socials we're on. You can find Weekos on YouTube as Weekos Official, on Instagram and Facebook as Weekos Cinema TV Yang and Weekos Cinema TV Ita, on TikTok and Dex as Weekos English and Weekos Italia, and on Twitch as Weekos Twitch. Do so and you won't miss any of the Weekos reviews and content. I don't have a particular relationship with the Robert Eggers work. I watched The Witch on release week when it came out back in 2015. I'm not much of a fan of The Lighthouse, though I recognize it's a great film and I enjoyed my time with The Northman. But there's always been something that prevented me to fully embracing his work. Partially because he's a hipster, even self-declared, and not just because his filmmaking style falls somewhat out of the mainstream. It's especially evident in The Northman, where he adapted the story which inspired Shakespeare's Hamlet. And here, where instead of Dracula, he remakes the movie that adapted Dracula but didn't have the rights, so changed the name and location but was still ruled as plagiarism. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything negative, just facts that I find funny. And artistically speaking, I get why he has this through-the-curtain approach. Both Hamlet and Dracula have been adapted ad nauseum in multiple types of media, hence adapting other forms of these stories is much more interesting. And Nosferatu, while essentially presenting the same story as Bram Stoker's Dracula, presents the vampire quite differently. Starting from Murnau's work, Eggers brings to life the folkloristic version of the idea of a vampire, someone who is not dead, meaning a living corpse. Physically not so distant from a zombie, but with the human intellect intact, influenced by paranormal forces and thirst of blood. In other words, forget the charming Prince of Darkness Gary Oldman played for Coppola. And from that movie, also forget the colorful cinematography. Jerry and Blanche makes everything dark, dirty, cold, even when they are in the safety of their own houses in the beginning where warmth takes over the frame. That significantly contributes to the incredible atmosphere Eggers presents. Everything looks and feels perfect. The production design is majestic as well as the dresses. In both cases, the immersion to 19th century Germany is off the charts, and we undoubtedly have an Oscar contender in these categories. Same thing can be said about the Robin Carolan score alongside the sound design. You constantly feel unsettled and on guard for what's coming next. Even the overacting that Eggers proposes here fits the bill too, which is kind of inevitable when you tell a story filled with archetypes. And everyone does a fantastic job, without falling into ridiculousness. Lily Rose Depp, here at her first dramatic feature film lead role, holds her own in quite surprising ways, with a viscerally physical performance that will probably establish her. Nicholas Hoult, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Ralph Ineson, and Emma Corrin are unsurprisingly perfect in the roles and all contribute to the filmmaker's vision. William Dafoe is also fiercely entertaining, but more on that later. Finally, we're right to Orlok himself, Bill Skarsgård. He gives an incredible physical performance, transforming once again his voice, giving the Count a haunting and dark sound that would freeze you in fear. And he fully owns the heavy makeup, inevitable, of course, to play a dead man walking. However, with the makeup, the negative start. As someone who aims to be as perfect as Eggers, you get everything in the presentation of Orlok's body. He's indeed a corpse of walks with his decadent skin, very reduced hair all over, even down there. Yet he has a thick, perfectly cut and combed mustache, which really took me out of it for a bit. Let me explain. I don't think the mustache looks ridiculous, and I don't think he looks ridiculous because of it. I think it's absolutely ridiculous he has it, because it doesn't have any place, at least the way Eggers wanted to portray the vampire. Again, it's supposed to be a corpse and everything looks like it, yet he has that thick mustache that would make both Ned Flanders and Borat proud. I really don't get it, maybe it's just me, but really, conceptually, shouldn't be there. Another thing Nosferatu kinda drags is the writing. It's not badly written, but again, it's a story with archetypes playing in it, and on top of that it still is Bram Stoker's story, so it's hard to be interested if the atmosphere doesn't do anything to you, though I seriously doubt it. Speaking of writing, William Dafoe again does a fantastic job by playing a character that is supposed to be Van Helsing, but it's written like Empire Strikes Back's Yoda. Don't get me wrong, I love me some Yoda, but once I realized that it was a little bit funny, sometimes intentionally as he is the source of comic relief, and others unintentionally. Still, neither of these negatives prevent Nosferatu from being a really good movie. It is one of the best looking movies of the year and definitely one of the best gothic horrors in years. Overall, I scored Nosferatu with an 8 out of 10. Eggers packs a great technical achievement that falls short due to the incompressible mustache and the fact that no matter how different you make it, Nosferatu is still Dracula, so something we all know already. That's it for this review. Did you watch Nosferatu? What did you think about it? Let us know down in the comments. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe or follow on our platforms. And remember, if you're Italian, every Tuesday at 7 AM we release our own podcast, Il Weekos Podcast, where we talk about movies and TV and occasionally gaming and tech. You can find it on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and Castbox. My name is Luke Ripa. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next review.